I got another carved figure for you.
Hello, Pathfinder. Any good news for me?
I picked up this figure earlier. It might be Angaran.
This is unfamiliar to me. It does resemble an Angara, but it looks so strange. It's clearly centuries old. Is it an artistic interpretation, or is this what we really look like? Implications. Pathfinder, you may have discovered our earliest artifact yet.
You thirsty bastard. Hope it helps my chances. Oh my god. That is the most desperate romance dialogue I've seen in a BioWare game. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Could it be a relic from another culture?
The technique and material matches other Angaran relics, and you found it in one of our worlds. But perhaps the depiction isn't an Angara. It could be a deity of some sort.
Or maybe something that touches to some history between the Ket and the Angaran that we might need to know. Because maybe that's a thing, I don't know.
I'll come back when I have something.
Stars guide your travels.
Is that not all of them yet? Oh right, there's probably one of them on the next planet. That would make sense. So next up is life on the frontier. We have 3 attacks on Nexus ships to investigate. Interestingly, these are often objectives that they put on unexplored systems that you like scan to get, just to sort of point you at the places where you could scan every planet one by one. I actually have 100% completion of all these spots already. Except for this. No! It was right next to it, they tricked me. Press again. No!
Getting a scan.
Oh, that time it worked.
Applying data to what we already have.
Put those a little too close together. The Charis was a transport shuttle with a full cargo of supplies. According to the ship's final transmission, it lost its way after an unexplained interference resulted in navigational failure. Damage on parts of the ship's hull suggests that it came into contact with a hostile force shortly after losing contact with the Nexus. And we just took all its shit? 2 more to go. One in Nalesh and one in Juredir. These are hell of a names. So let's hopefully get the, I assume there's going to be some kind of story-related outcome for this mission because it is not listed as an additional task. It is listed as a Nexus quest. Whereas with the additional tasks, I'm basically treating them as optional at this point. Like I'm not even really looking through them. I'll like accidentally complete them when I see their objectives on the maps, but I'm not really actively pursuing them because they seem to mostly be stuff like scan all the animals so that you get a pat on the back.
Anomaly found.
Which is not much in terms of a reward or even payoff. Because I scanned I think I already turned in the one for scanning all the stars, or 20 stars or whatever, and that person was like, thank you, leave. And that was like the dialogue. I'm like, alright, did it. The ship and its entire crew, transporting minerals, was expected at the Nexus but never docked. It was presumed lost in the Scourge. Analysis suggests that the Daisy's navigational systems may have been compromised. The initiative's so screwed. Jesus. Just the rate at which we lose people. Constantly. Like, this is basically a long game documenting countless initiative, resource loss, and death. And not much progress being made besides the protagonist, really. You do get like a city that pops up when you terraform a planet, but you don't really get much follow-up necessarily on them accomplishing stuff afterwards.
This should give us a final location, Ryder.
I feel sorry for people that played this game for like 100 hours without being able to skip that animation. An emergency medical ship staffed with medical technicians, the Nightingale, was dispatched to a far-flung mining station but was lost along the way. Survivors who reached the escape pods believe it was a Ket attack, but there is no corroborating evidence to be found in the wreckage. And lo and behold, we're going back to Kadara. See you there. All crimes point to Kadara, as it would appear. There's always another reason to come back. I won't even pretend that this is our last time here. Although it would be really funny if I said that finally and then it was my last time here. But pretty much every random quest seems to point us back here sooner or later. This should be the HQ of the people that have been taking out Nexus ships. Oh wow, it's one of the places I really thoroughly mined. How you guys doing? You doing good? Whoopsie. I just noticed that when you attack somebody with that attack, they freeze in place. That's amazing. Jesus, that person. It sucked to be that person so much. That was ridiculous. Yeah, that's amusing. I never had such a clear view of it before, I don't think. So I used charge on them while they were in midair, just cartwheeling through the air. And so I was able to very clearly see the fact that when you use charge on somebody, they actually physically freeze while the animation plays, which is surprising because while you're using charge, other people around you are still fighting. So it's weird because like only you two have frozen in place. Like just now, I zoomed in on this guy and he froze, but Vetra was still running around shooting in the meantime. Interesting to see that weird dynamic. But at least a situation where somebody could be frozen in mid-air and I can be with my charge. I wonder if they can take shots in that moment.
Reloading.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Everyone fly for me, please. Oh, that hit no one? Very selective auto-aiming with that thing. Bye bye.
That's it. Good work.
My character got really effective once these cooldowns got shorter. Probably should have invested in that passive upgrade earlier in the playthrough. I really wanted to unlock the highest possible adept profile, though.
This is where all that stuff got to. I'd heard about meds being stolen.
Mac and cheese, chocolate pudding, Christmas ham, and raisin sauce. Three Sabers memo. I don't want to hear about it. You all knew ousting Yale would make the break with the Nexus final. No loss. That teat was running dry. Going independent isn't just the smart move, it's the only move. Now we've got the gear and the freedom to take over this place. Angara? Not a problem. Here Yale's on Eos. Forget him. He won't talk. Anything he brings up will expose his involvement, and the Nexus's involvement. He is not going to put himself in that position. Cochrane.
So, they got rid of their former leader.
Grenades, rifle mods, body armor, they're well stocked.
This is top-end gear. We don't trade with this stuff, and it wasn't stolen in the uprising. Someone on the Nexus gave this to them.
Thing around here is still scannable. Oh, getting colder. I would guess it's on the roof. Getting warmer. Oh, colder? Warmer. Warmest. Just try the data pad. I don't want to hear it. You all knew asking. Wait. That's the same one.
This former leader, Yale, he's on Eos. He was their tie to the Nexus.
We'll have to talk to him to get to the root of this.
I'm saving everything we found as proof. It'll come in handy.
Okay, so maybe I'd have to take a screenshot and put them side by side to tell for sure. Wasn't that the same document? So, I could have sworn there was the same memo, wasn't it? I didn't, like, it at least seemed to have the same text in it. I didn't go through the whole thing when it seemed to be the same copy. So did I find one copy of it that did not complete the quest, but then found a second copy of the same letter and that for some reason did complete the quest? That's bizarre. Did they know that they had a second copy of the same letter in this quest? Like, was that seems like a fluke that they had the same document show up twice in the same quest, and only one of them was scripted as being something that would complete the quest. Boy, oh boy, this game's fascinating. Alrighty, Yale, we know your name, and we know where you live, hopefully. They still here? Oh, yeah, they're alive. Couldn't tell at first. That is a face-palming Turian.
Is your name Yale?
Yeah, that's me. Stanton Yale. What can I do for the Pathfinder today?
Tell me about the three sabers.
Oh, shit.
Well, that reaction tells me all I need to know.
Look, I just didn't think anyone would find out about it, okay? It's something that ought to be left alone. We made a mistake.
Explain.
The new outposts, our supply routes, they needed protection. We couldn't rely on just you. I proposed that we'd save Nexus blood by hiring exiles to fight for us.
First time I've seen someone so coldly calculating and stupid in one shot.
It was a risk, sure, but I knew Cochrane. We served together. I thought I could trust him. I became their commander, I armed them, I shared access to Padromo's operations. And then they took their new toys and went rogue. Attacked people they were supposed to protect.
I've dealt with the three sabers. They won't be a problem.
Damn, they're gone then. Shit, Cochrane. He was a good man. Once. Addison will be pleased at least. One loose end tied up.
Wait, Addison?
She wasn't sure Ryder would work out as Pathfinder. She was desperate for options. Doesn't even matter anymore. The three sabers are gone. Just let this blow over. I have to get back to work. We've got an outpost to run here.
Well, hopefully he won't make that stupid mistake again. Meanwhile, we have a reason to go talk to Addison. 2 reasons to go back to the Nexus then. One for Addison and one I believe we still need to talk to that Angara about the proving rights, basically. I think we've gotten everything necessary for that now. Vold, ancient AI rumored. Rumors persist of an ancient AI was discovered in a long-abandoned city below Vold's frozen surface. Initiative Brass have refused to confirm multiple accounts, but 3 independent and reliable sources confirm its existence. Activity on Vold. A major Ket stronghold in Vold has fallen, a decisive blow to Ket operations on the ice planet. Resistant leader Anjik Stozil praised the efforts of the initiative. We worked together to defeat a common enemy, she told HNS. I foresee a great deal of collaboration in the future. So, if I did finish that mission, this guy should be happy to see me. But I don't know if there was another thing left. You're not the guy. You're a guy who looks like the guy, but you're my guy. Where's the other guy? I don't know where he is, actually. Don't know where, actually. I'm looking around the map. He doesn't show up as an icon. Yeah, Angaran Special Forces issued a series of challenges. Time to impress. Boom! They're all done. And that's it. It doesn't say on hold, like missions are supposed to say when there's some reason for me to not be able to finish them. But it's also not giving me any indication of where this dude is. He was right here, now he's gone. And normally there's like a star somewhere to tell me where the dude is so I can find them again. Jal, do you know where he is?
Ryder, I just read the most fascinating histories about the conflict between the Geth and their Quarian creators. I feel like the Angara and the Quarians have so much in common.
Really? How?
We're both displaced, struggling against cruel enemies to save our home worlds.
But the Ket just showed up here. That's not your fault. The Quarians created the Geth.
Home is home. When home is not safe, the heart is sick from yearning.
Yeah, there is a decent parallel between the Angaran and the Quarians. Not for the reasons they were displaced, but their displacement itself, I suppose. This is a creepy sort of whitewashing of history, isn't it? You have a Turian and a human shaking hands, and a Krogan and a Solarian shaking hands. And I think it's supposed to be talking about their histories.
They're happy to answer any questions.
In the year 2157, human explorers chanced upon a galactic gateway, leading to their first encounter with the Turians. Hostilities erupted. However, the governing body in the Milky Way, the Citadel, quickly intervened. They brokered a truce between Turians and humanity. Their antagonism faded, and within a few decades, the two species were allies. This outcome illustrates how Milky Way races believe a peaceful solution can be found to even the most intractable disagreements.
Boy, that's a embarrassing audio balance right there. So, there's a thing called auto-ducking, where when one thing makes noise, other things get quieter. It's fairly common, especially if you play multiplayer online, I almost said RPGs. If you play multiplayer online games that have built-in voice chat, oftentimes when you hear somebody talk, the rest of the game actually gets quieter for you to hear them. So you don't have to have the game constantly quiet and the voice is constantly loud. The game will actually get quiet for the voices. Really common in shooters, stuff like that. Also very common in games to handle the audio balancing. But they didn't balance this one correctly. Even though I'm interacting with this thing and it's obviously the dominant dialogue thing, random people, are, like there's crew members around, and there's random passerbys around, and there's also a constant, like, literally will never shut up intercom in the background. And at least one of those things was getting priority over this thing, even though this was an active thing that I'm interacting with that should be the #1 priority in the game. This thing was getting auto-ducked by something else. It was getting quieter whenever something else talked. I don't think it was the intercom. I think it was the crew members that are talking in some other room, which I can't even hear, but their subtitles keep popping up on the screen. Because it kept going in and out and in and out and in and out on relatively short phrases. But like every 3 words was quiet, then every 3 words was loud, then every 3 words was quiet again. It was baffling. It's okay, because this game's super finished. So that's not necessarily creepy whitewashing, because that's like a symbol of what actually happened. But this is... boy oh boy, yeah, Krogans love Solarians.
It was nearly 3,000 years ago when the Krogan and Solarians first met. War and ignorance had decimated the Krogan homeworld. The Solarians uplifted them, rescuing the Krogan from likely extinction. The Solarians gave them technology and a new planet where they could thrive. In return, the Krogan defeated a hostile race threatening galactic peace. Theirs is a complicated relationship, but one showing how species who disagree still coexist in the Milky Way.
Huh. I mean, it's on the Nexus. It's not really the most optional content. It's like... it was stuff you'd expect people to find. It's weird that it has that problem. I have no idea where this Angaran guy went. He was standing right here when he gave me the mission. And the mission seems to be done, but I can't give it back to him or finish it up. So I guess we'll just put that on pause indefinitely, and I'll go confront Addison. Addison, did you arm pirates that then shot down a bunch of our people and then not tell me about that being the project I was on?
I know why you're here. Yale told me to expect a visit. I hoped this blunder wouldn't come to light, but Helios has a habit of dashing our hopes. Have the 3 Sabers been eliminated, Pathfinder?
Their deaths don't make this okay.
I realize that, Ryder. A poor decision was made. People paid for it, but it's over. As far as everyone's concerned, the 3 Sabers acted on their own.
But they didn't, did they? Hey, Ryder.
Who the hell's this?
This investigation started with Sid's instincts.
I applaud good instincts, but not in this case.
So I was right, wasn't I? Someone on the Nexus was helping the 3 Sabers.
Yes, it was a mistake. We authorized a course of action that cost lives, but, like I said, it's over.
You have to tell people. If we made a mistake, we have to own it, right?
Who does that serve? It could damage relations with the Angara, spark another uprising.
It would be lying. Ryder, if you hide this, what else will you let them hide?
We're not taking tips on diplomacy from a teenager.
With all due respect, Director, Sid's right. Transparency is important for building trust. People need to know they can trust us, even when we screw up.
I'll make sure people hear about this.
Pathfinder, you're making a mistake.
Maybe. But at least I'm willing to acknowledge it.
It's, non-negligible, yeah. Addison and our current director, like, they might just not be fitting for their current roles. They seem to mostly be constantly making blunders and not a whole lot else. So I can't help but wonder if maybe they should probably be replaced. And not in a violent uprising, but maybe they should have the decency just to step down at some point if they keep screwing up at the rate that they have been throughout the entire game. Let's see. More raw materials from traders. Increased inventory. Let's do the inventory capacity. I do get close to capping it out sometimes. I'd prefer to never run out. So now we're at 200 item slots. Hell, if you're gonna give Ryder the total run of the place and make him let him do completely insane decisions constantly, and single-handedly revitalize every planet and do every single mission alone on his own with nobody else all the time, might as well just make him leader of the initiative too. Screw it, since he already makes all the decisions anyway. Here we come to Alderaan. Wait, Enderon. Eladar. There we go. Eladar? Is that what it's called? These space planets just... Elaaden. That was close. These space planets are blurring together in my brain.
We're on course.
But no more. Not after I blow it up. Wait, I'm thinking of Alderaan again. I don't know, I'm pointing a crosshair at it. Still not convinced I'm not just gonna blow it up. Alright, viability level 0%. We got a lot going on here. So, we have an Exile Raid, Turian Arc, we have Drax's loyalty mission, we have PB's loyalty mission, and then we have the actual, like, part where we're trying to make this place habitable. And that doesn't even count the stuff we're gonna get once we land there. This promises to maybe be the most interesting planet, because it's supposed to be where New Tachanka is, I hope. So that means Krogans everywhere? They gotta make good on that, right? I swear to God, Andromeda, if you make a Krogan planet boring... Speaking of which, let's make sure that you guys are... Yep, neither of those people. PB. Drac. Good to go.
Sam, send Callow the nav point provided by our Krogan contact. Drac, we're landing on Elaaden to rendezvous with Jorgal Strux.
On my way.
Where is this meeting place exactly?
Called the Paradise. Middle of nowhere as far as I can tell.
Paradise is different for a Krogan.
Remnant starship? No.
Only 41% exposed. I will gather what information I can, Pathfinder.
Who lives here besides the Krogan?
Scavengers with nothing to lose. Criminals chucked out of Kadara.
Gonna be interesting.
Been spending most our lives living in a Krogan paradise. I like to think that Drac was just on Eos because he mixed it up with this place. Because it looks awful similar. Boy, oh boy, there's some tall-ass mesas, though. Like, that's tall for a mesa, and that's, like, impossible shaped for a mesa. Holy crap. Huh? It's okay, we went in the shade a little bit. Oh, if they go full pitch black on this thing.
Isn't it? I remember the first time I saw this place, I thought, wow, this is home. I wasn't the only one.
I detect above normal temperatures.
I hope they just go Riddick with this place. They could have fun with this setting if they wanted to.
Environment check. Temperatures are within acceptable parameters.
Oh no.
Life support is back online.
We're gonna hit peak annoying Sam here, aren't we? Because, like, if I walk slightly... Like, we've established that shadows...
Heat levels increasing.
Oh, no. So we've established that shadows stop the heat problem. But is he going to do that every time? We didn't do it...
Ambient temperature is normal.
Oh, boy. Oh, he's never going to shut up in this planet. Alright, well, get ready to hear more Sam than you never heard before.
Damn heat fried my crawler again.
That goddamn sun would just... Hey, I recognize your insignia. You're Nexus, right? A Pathfinder. Kent Halsey, Nexus Security.
Must be a reason you're here. Is there a problem?
Not with the Nexus. This is a personal matter. My sister Isabel fell in with the wrong people. She joined the rebellion and was exiled to Kadara. Somehow, she pissed off enough people to end up in this hellhole.
Your security and your sister's a troublemaker. Puts you in an awkward situation.
I don't care about that. I'm here to find her. I know she can't come back to the Nexus, but we can start over on Kadara. Together.
You'd give up your life for her?
Izzy's the only family I have. I'd do anything for her. The problem is, I underestimated this planet. I don't have a vehicle or a way to survive the heat. I'm stuck before I've even started.
That's not even underestimating the planet. That's just general bad idea. If you went, I'll find her somewhere on this planet. Just don't bring a car, any kind of transport. Planets aren't big.
Don't worry. I can track Isabel down for you.
I hoped you'd say that. I think the salvager from Kadara has info on her. She wouldn't give me anything, but maybe you can get her talking.
Well, let's keep poking around. Krogans are here. Look, Krogan's drinking.
Hey, I'm talking to you. Hey.
Oh boy, that's a Krogan voice actor, huh? Okay, I'm leaving. That was an interesting voice for a Krogan. Jump cut for minor interruption, but we're back.
Those are water towers. The colony here gets all its supply from Ania.
That's a good thing I brought Drac along.
What are you looking at?
To be honest, I'm curious about what's going on here.
What's going on is none of your damn business. Keep walking, or I'm gonna shoot out your knees.
I thought the rule was no guns.
That won't protect you outside the gates. If you see me there, you better run.
Pathfinder, is it necessary to engage with this individual? I don't see how it helps our cause.
Right. Let's just back away slowly, guys.
About time.
About time?